I'm here today with Lloyd Henchey. What town are we in, Lloyd?
We're in a town called St. Eugene.
Yes.
And it's halfway between Montreal and Ottawa.
Yeah.
And it's the first town when you enter Ontario.
Wow. And you brought yourself here. You got a new house a few years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago we moved from Quebec to Ontario for tax purposes.
Yeah. Well,
and
that's okay.
When we came downstairs during the visit, I told my wife, I go, we don't have any furniture for downstairs.
Yeah.
And that's when I told her, well, maybe I should start my retirement project since it's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take over the entire basement and build a model railroad. And at that time, the ex-owner was here.
Yes.
And he came and hugged me. And he said, I wish you were my kid. I always wanted to do that. So I started, we bought the house in July, and by October, that's when I started. And a year after that, I tore everything down because I wasn't doing it right.
So you, as a model railroader, you were new to the hobby. You hadn't really done too much in the hobby over your life?
When you say new,
yeah,
I'm talking about really new.
Yeah.
I did not play with trains when I was a kid.
No.
I did not go on trains until maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I wasn't near trains, so basically trains were not part of my life.
So what triggers you to say, yeah, I want to do this?
My background is engineering, civil engineering, so I like to build stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you get started in this hobby given the fact that you live out in the country?
Like I said, I guess when you're talking about retirement, people have to do something when they're retired.
Mm-hmm.
And in my line of business, I'm a financial advisor, so I tell people, you got to think of what you're going to do at retirement. That way you'll know how much money you'll need at retirement. Which got me thinking of, what am I going to do at retirement? Mm-hmm. And this seemed like a project that could last a very long time because I was told that the layout is never finished. So,
there's not many model railroaders in this community, so I mean, how did you gain the expertise?
It's called internet.
Yeah.
So when I decided on this hobby, I went on the internet, joined I think it was 2 forums.
Yes.
And then did a lot of research, watched a lot of videos. I must have spent a good 2-3 hours every night just watching videos, and that's how I said, okay, I like this, I like that. And then to get the information, then I would type in what's a tortoise, and then I would see what it was, and I was like, okay, that should be part of my layout. And so basically it was all internet. And as time passed, I joined some live groups, and so I was able to ask a lot of questions.
Well, a lot of people, it's taken years and multiple layouts to develop an idea of what you're doing. Here, I guess you had to rely on that expertise based on what you either observed or people that you met on the internet.
Yes. This, like I said, the first layout lasted maybe 6 months before I tore it down. That's because somebody contacted me and said, what do you expect of your layout? I said, I don't know. I just want to run trains. Well, there's running trains like in circles or running trains in like operations. I said, yeah, that sounds pretty good, operations. So he goes, I could help you. I could design the layout for you. So I said, well, that would help because I have no idea what a layout should look like.
Yeah.
And we were in touch, well, for maybe a month.
Yes.
On the phone, by email, and asking what I wanted. And so when he was finished, he sent me a plan. I loved it, and I built it almost as per plan because we've done 3 modifications since, and that there shouldn't be any more.
Wow. So it's designed around a specific area in the country, I guess.
At first, no. It was here's the size of the room.
Yeah.
I want industries, as many industries as you can fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started building it, that's when I realized, well, this could become Hawkesbury Yard. And then further down, we got St. Eugene. Why not get a town called St. Eugene? And ended up being, the towns are real, except that the entire layout, tracks, if you want.
Yeah, it's freelance
it's
design.
Freelance,
yeah. So your concept of the towns as you imagine them would basically cover the area you live in from Montreal through to Toronto and some of the key towns in between, I guess.
Montreal and Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
Montreal,
like
Ottawa.
for example, my staging will
Yeah.
represent Montreal
Yeah.
or Ottawa, depending on which way you come into the helix.
Oh, okay.
But really, it's Hawkesbury to the entrance to Montreal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's neat. And some of the elements of the track plan, you said you had a double track main line?
Yeah, it's a double track main line. It's 170 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 1,100 feet of tracks,
Okay.
which is staging. The staging is included in all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, and it's just the way the design. It's point to point in the sense you have staging on each end, but it also can be continuous running.
That's right. I don't know if I'm going to keep the continuous.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't want the trains to go from Hawkesbury directly to Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go around the entire layout if you want to go to Montreal.
Sure.
So the joining part, I'm not too sure I want to keep it.
Mm-hmm. Now your staging is down underneath, I see, down under here.
Yes.
And so things come out of staging, they come up through a helix over here? Is that what happens?
That helix is, if I'm not wrong, it's 30-inch radius minimum. So I think the inside is 30, the outside is 32 and a half.
And so it's an around the room type of layout. Hi Doug, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to stay out of the way.
Oh, no, it's okay. And it's an L-shaped kind of room.
Yeah.
And you're
42 by 24, I think.
Yeah. And so it goes around the outside of the room, but it also has some centerpieces as well that I guess taking full advantage of the center of the room from both sides so you have long running.
Yes, there's two peninsulas.
Well, that's fantastic. So this is how old now? How many years have you been working on this?
3 years in at the end of October.
So you're now going to enter the class of what we call a super builder, then somebody that builds like crazy. How many hours a day do you work on this layout?
Usually it's at night.
Yeah.
If I don't see clients at night, it's during the day.
Yeah.
And if I see clients during the day, it's at night.
So it's trains and clients.
Right.
That's amazing. Track laying, you've got ballast down, all the bench work. It's quite extraordinary. I noticed some very unique things too. You know, for a new model railroader, you've applied yourself to trying new technologies and the like. I see over here on the left, for example, the structure. It's a scratch-built structure. Were you a model builder in your younger years that you have the skills to create something like this?
Well, my civil engineering background.
Yeah.
In some of the classes, we were to build buildings.
Yes.
And that always fascinated me.
So I've never seen a structure like this, and the materials seem very unique. I'm just looking at your brickwork and things. What is that made of?
Just imagine wallpaper, like white wallpaper.
Yeah.
It's embossed.
Right.
And the guy just...
So it's got a very rough edge on it then. It's just got the texture.
Yeah, it's like embossed. I mean, it's so small that you don't see the embossed being that particular brick.
Yeah.
But if you look at any wallpaper, embossed wallpaper, that's what it is.
And where did you find that? I mean, I've never seen anything like that in model railroading before.
That's what happens when you spend 2-3 hours on the internet searching for
Products.
information,
Yeah.
and suddenly you get a product that pops up, and you go, "Oh, that's
So where did this product come from? I don't think it's a North American product.
no, it's from Greece."
From Greece.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to get the address. We'll probably do a big bonus run for this fellow once the modelers start to see this material. Have you, any of your fellow modelers online been using it lately?
Yes, like our group, it's called the YouTube Model Builders.
Yeah.
We meet like almost every night and we discuss, and we talked about it, and a few guys already ordered it and will be using it.
Because I see it in quite a few spots. What is it, a foam board construction underneath? Is that what you typically use?
That's foam core,
Yeah.
and there's also like those thick cardboard, artist cardboard,
Yeah,
to make it more rigid.
okay. And it almost looks like in here there's layering. I see a piece across here. Is that just a second layer of paper on top?
It's a layer of cardboard
Yeah.
that I cut out, and then I put the paper on it.
That's very effective. And I guess you can add the weathered rust pieces to the different components, such as the steel beams that go through.
Yeah, I use. I was thinking of Ralph. He doesn't like too much pan pastel.
No,
But
you use them, and that's that.
I used it on the paper. Like, it's a good place to use it on the paper.
Sure.
It's not going to get removed. I wasn't going to put oil on there
Yeah.
because it's paper.
So we're talking about Ralph Ranzetti.
That's right.
He's our good friend from down in the TO town.
That's right. The
Yeah.
weathering guy.
Yeah, the weathering guy. Yeah. So let's just take a meander through your layout here. This area here that we were just looking at, that's coming out of, I guess we have the east to the right and west to the left, or do I have that backwards?
No, yeah, backwards.
Okay, so this is east and that's west.
Yeah.
All right, so what's this area called here?
We're still in the town. Over there is going to be the town of Oxbury.
Right.
So there's going to be, I think it's 12 buildings that I've planned.
Yeah.
I started working on one already. You can even see the drapes in the windows.
Sure.
There's lights. You see, like, I like to do a bit of everything,
Yeah.
so I don't get bored.
Of course, yeah.
Okay? Like, one thing I really dislike is the wiring. So I'll do a section of wiring, then I'll just stop and do something else. It could
Yeah.
be ballasting, could be a building, could be trees, it could. I'll do all kinds of stuff. Now, some people will say, well, you should do all your tracks first and then do. No, I do everything at the same time. So my nights and days are busy.
So let's continue along the layout here. We want to go just ahead of me here, and we'll just meander down.
Okay, so I've got, by the way, that building is going to be like a boxcar interchange.
Yes,
That's all it is. So there's going to be a lot of traffic because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be 4 tracks going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got
your lumber
my
industry.
Yeah. I had to cut the building because the building is supposed to be a little bit wider.
Yeah.
But because I'm running out of place, I was able to cut the building to make it fit.
Excellent.
And here we have, sorry about not much light.
That's
but
okay.
That's my lumber yard.
Yeah. So all the lumber loads and
Oh yeah,
Color coats?
that took a while.
all those little wraps. I've done a lot of those myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, isn't it?
So I'm also working on building a fence,
Yeah.
which is going to be all along.
Sure. Like a proper fence that you would have in a business industry.
Exactly.
And you have here a way to cross over from one set of tracks to the other, which is really critical, I guess, when you think about either mainline operations or when you're dealing with facing switches.
Yeah. There's also a few things that are temporary.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I've got a switching panel,
Yeah.
which is temporary because everything's going to be push button.
Of course, yeah.
Because in in years to come, I intend to have JMRI and have a dispatcher sitting at the other end.
Sure.
So switches don't work, like
Yeah.
because if he switches, the switch don't flip. So by having push buttons, I don't have that problem.
Well, I know when we were down in the States with Mr. Brown's layout there, we were talking about him and his advances in this push-button switching and the like. His dispatcher actually is his son and lives in a different city. And when they do an operating session, he operates from his computer and throws all the turnouts for the layout and signals from a different part of the world.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots to be done on the electronic side, and it's a good learning curve for
Yeah,
you.
so panels will stay for a while.
Yeah.
Here I've got a temporary lift out,
Yeah.
which right now,
Snugly fits in there and does the trick.
yeah, I just connect these tracks.
Yeah.
But there's a gap here, so there's no problem for, so
Now we got
I'm
a
able
small,
to run my trains.
And now we have a small little industry here. That's a
Yeah.
very nice structure.
A lot of people ask me, where did you get that wood structure?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know which structure that is.
It looks very familiar.
Come on.
Scotty Mason? No?
No, it's a Walters, the feed. What do you
Oh,
call
the
it?
feed mill, yeah.
The feed mill.
So it's a plastic kit that you've weathered to death to make it look like it's a wood structure.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you did a great job.
A lot of people, people were asking me,
Yeah.
that has to be a wood structure. No, it's
No,
not.
yeah,
It's,
you know what? There's a lot of truth in that. Paint and weathering does amazing things.
and again, not to outdo Ralph, but that's pan pastel.
Got that, Ralph? I use them too. And Bragdon, so I use a lot of stuff. So this is a different time of year right here too, I see, is fall.
Yep, that's late fall.
Yeah.
Where all the backdrops are customized. I found a guy on the internet, and I asked him if he was good at Photoshop, because I know a lot of people will buy backdrops,
Yeah.
install it, and then build around and try to make everything fit.
Sure.
Well, I did the opposite. I got my industries, and the backdrop has to fit my
Yeah, the
my,
angles and everything.
so I told him I wanted trees without leaves. I ended up finding the picture, so
Yeah.
I sent it to him, and I told him at exactly 16 inches I want a dirt road that turns left, so like it disappears, and it has to be 3.5 inches wide, and
Yeah.
so he was able to put that in.
Wow.
And as we go along, the same thing here. Basically, this whole backdrop measures 22 feet. I had to cut it because it's not easy to install. It's not the self-adhesive. It's
Yeah.
You don't see it, but what's holding this is carpet tape,
Yeah.
double-sided carpet tape. And if you make a mistake,
Yeah, it's on there.
it's on there. You can't remove
Yeah.
it. So, and the same thing here at, I can't remember the distance, but let's say it was 10 feet.
Yeah.
At 10 feet, I want 4
The stream.
inches of a stream.
Yeah.
Again, that disappears to the right. So he blended that. And I told him then at 18 feet, I want you to start the transition between autumn, late
Yeah.
autumn, and winter. So you're gonna have to start putting snow in. So he did that, and at the end where you see the green tape, that's where it ends for now. And at that point, we're in winter. So now he's working on the winter scene.
Let's go down around the corner there and see what we have here. Nice covered bridge. That looks really nice.
That was my first item I did.
Yeah, well, you got to start somewhere, right? And why not with a covered bridge?
And I found the plans on the internet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what do we have here?
Here is the St. Eugene yard.
Okay.
First, on the design, it was supposed to be a container yard. But containers did not exist in the 70s.
Right.
So I asked the build a track liner. I said, can you redo
The industry,
the
yeah.
industry? I removed that, and it was all done. So scrapped it. And also, Rapido came out with RDC.
Yes?
I said, well, why not? Because in the 70s there was an RDC, so I built a train station for the town of St. Eugene. As you can see, this is all scratch built.
Yes.
So the RDC will be leaving from here, going to Hawkesbury, coming back, back and forth. So
Very nice.
just want to add, and this is all, I'm just going to get out of the way.
Well, that's
Sorry.
okay. Yeah.
That's the town of St. Eugene, and this is all going to be under snow. That's the winter scene.
Oh, okay. So you have what, snow on the roofs, snow up along the sides of the house.
Yep.
People out there shoveling.
Yes, and you got on your right here.
A skating rink right here.
Yeah, it's going to be a pond. Well, yeah, it's going to be a skating rink.
Very nice. A little music playing.
I don't know about sound yet. That's another thing that I'm looking at, but.
That's very nice.